Hey, what's going on, guys? Like Butter here, and today I got another Division video for you, and I want to talk a little bit about Predator's Mark. Predator's Mark is a build or gear set that has kind of fallen out of the meta over the last couple of patches. It was actually the meta in 1.4 until it eventually got a little bit nerfed, mostly in the 1.4 PTS. The Predator's Mark, because of the fact of, in 1.5 enemy armor damage kind of coming into effect in PvP, even before that, Predator's Mark was just so unbelievably strong because of the fact that you could make people bleed, and back then, bleed would sprint lock you, which it no longer does. So I want to talk about the change that they made to make Shrapnel actually work again. It didn't work in the beginning, and then they fixed it in 1.4, and now it's broken again. So they fixed it in this patch, although there are a lot of other things that haven't been fixed yet in this PTS. Shrapnel definitely does work. It procs quite a lot. I've been testing the Predator's Mark build for the last couple days. I've been trying different versions of it. Unfortunately, I don't have any PvP gameplay for you guys today. I've been doing a lot of PvP testing, and I can tell you, Predator's Mark is a very top tier build. Now, would I say it's tier 1? I think it's on the edge between tier 1 and tier 2 build for this patch, and Shrapnel really does help. Now, what are the uses for Predator's Mark? Now, the version of Predator's Mark that I'm not going to show you guys today because I still have a lot of tweaking to do is a full firearms glass cannon version with the MP7 and the lightweight M4. Basically, I would use the MP7 up close, and I still need to roll on my M4, but the idea is to get prepared on my M4 and get increased optimal range and use my M4 longer range and then use the MP7 up close. The MP7 shines up close. You can also use an MP5 or an AUG, but it is super strong. And the problem with Predator's Mark is that it doesn't kind of compete 1v1 against something like a high-end build or maybe even Strikers. I think Strikers has potential to beat it up close. And, of course, not Alpha Bridge. Alpha Bridge kind of beats this build one-on-one. But the good thing about Predator's Mark is that it has much more potential to synergize with some of your other teammates or squad mates, unlike Alpha Bridge or high-end build. The high-end build and the Alpha Bridge are just I don't want to call them selfish builds, but they're builds that only boost your stats. They don't help your team in any way, shape, or form. Now, Predator's Mark, on the other hand, is very good for this because when you can make multiple people bleed constantly, you're slowing their movement down, you're doing damage over time, and you're doing AoE. Doing AoE is so incredibly important, which is why, sticky bombs used to be so strong, was not only the fact that they would one-shot you, but you could also hit 2 to 3 people at a time. So you have one player doing damage to multiple people. That's what the area of effect is. And I think that the Predator's Mark with Shrapnel is very strong if you're with a group. Now, a really good combination, which is what I want to work on next with a buddy, this is like the perfect combo. You want one person running Predator's Mark, and then you want another person in your group running Sentry's Call with an Urban MDR. This is like the ultimate wombo combo, and here's why. So the Urban MDR is a single fire assault rifle. It's very strong from medium to long range and super strong up close if you can time your shots. Now, the idea is that the MDR is a much easier shooting sniper rifle than something like, an SVD. It doesn't have as much recoil, and the rate of fire is much higher. So you can get those sentry stacks pretty quickly. Now, why does Sentry and Predator's Mark go so well together? Well, the reason is because with the Sentry Mark, so say you have one teammate that's popping someone in the head, he's hitting like 1 headshot, 2 headshots. Well, that 10% extra damage that you're going to be doing is going to be multiplying the amount of bleed that you're going to be inflicting on your enemies. Because if you guys don't know, the 4-piece Predator's Mark is that you make your enemies bleed for 50% of the damage done. So if your teammate is marking them, allowing you to do more damage to an enemy, you're going to do more damage, thus make them bleed for more. Now, of course, there's things like immunizer and medkits that can remove bleed, but one super annoying thing about bleed is that first aid no longer removes this. So if the other team has like a healer build, they're going to need to use an immunizer instead of constantly healing themselves over and over to remove the bleed. So you can constantly just get your opponents on bleed over and over and over again. And this same goes for Predator's Mark helping Sentry's Call, because if you're using the Urban MDR, I guess it's not as much Sentry's Call, but with the Urban MDR, you are going to have the Distracted talent, which is the exotic talent in the 3rd slot, and you're going to be doing 18% extra damage to the enemies that are under status effects. Well, if your teammate's using Predator's Mark and he's using Shrapnel, most likely you're going to have a lot of targets that are bleeding that are not only running at a slower speed, 90%, they are also going to take tons of more damage with that MDR. So I think that is like a super duper wombo combo right now that I haven't seen too many people try. So I'm really looking forward to you know, getting a buddy a decent sentry build with a decent MDR. You know, if you can get like brutal, I'd say like, I don't know, like brutal, destructive, and distracted on the MDR, I think that thing will just destroy anything, since you're going to be going for headshots and the accuracy is so high, because you're going to have, like, you know, if you have accuracy on your underbarrel and you also have your accuracy for the 2-piece, it's going to be pretty strong, and I can't wait to test it out. But I think that Predator's Mark is a super underrated build, and I've really been enjoying using it. Like I said, if you're just going for a solo build, I think there's better options out there, like Strikers, even Nomad. Like, I kind of want to make a Nomad build now that we have loadouts, or at least in the PTS we have loadouts. I've been trying a lot of different builds, and Nomad is another one of those builds that I think are super underrated. It's more of a selfish, kind of solo-ish build, but I think a lot of people who like to do solo PvE are really going to like this build that I'm putting together for them. So that's that. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Let me know what you guys think about Predator's Mark. I know I only have PvE gameplay in here and I'm not showing the build. The reason for this is because I still have some further tweaking to do. I'm testing out like super glass cannon. I'm, you know, trying out more of like a hybrid, and we're gonna hopefully in the next couple days land at a spot where I feel comfortable with releasing, you know, what I'm using and whatnot. And I'd like to see what you guys think about it, and maybe any suggestions you guys have for the future of this build. So I definitely think that with Shrapnel coming back into the meta, you know, Predator's Mark is a force to be reckoned with. I think people underestimate it because of the sprint lock being removed from bleed, but being bled constantly is still the most annoying thing. Like, you can't see, you can't hear, and it's super difficult to run around in, and it kind of just throws your whole flow of the game off, especially if you're running away and it lasts so long. And not many people build bleed resist anymore, because a lot of people are building, you know, shock and burn resist because of all the shock turrets and all, you know, all the flame turrets that are out there right now. So anyways, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop the video a like, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.